Nbar sab thikr tahai, parrot hot hai dimagat nakayu sach tahai. As the day fades and the world grows quiet, a lonely stickman lies on his bed staring at the ceiling. The room is dark, illuminated only by the soft glow of the moon outside. Around him, thought clouds begin to appear, swirling gently in the silence. The city outside is asleep, but inside his mind a storm is brewing. This is the moment when overthinking takes center stage, and the brain's chatter grows louder than ever. Stickman lies still, but his mind is restless. Thoughts pop up one after another, some about the past, some about the future. The darkness of the room seems to amplify every little worry. With no distractions, every regret and every hope floats up, demanding attention. The silence is heavy, and the only thing louder is the racing mind. This is a universal feeling, one that connects us all, especially in the quiet of the night. Suddenly, thought clouds begin to multiply around the stickman. Each cloud carries a different worry, unfinished tasks, old memories, future anxieties. The animation shows these clouds floating and overlapping, creating a sense of chaos. The stickman tries to push them away, but they keep coming back, looping endlessly. This visual metaphor captures how our thoughts can spiral out of control when the world is quiet. Night, the world slows down. There's less noise, fewer distractions, and more silence. Scientifically, this silence gives our brain space to process everything we ignored during the day. The stickman's room is still, but his mind is busy replaying moments, analyzing conversations, and worrying about tomorrow. The absence of external noise makes internal noise louder. This is why the brain feels overactive when everything else is calm. Darkness changes how our brain works. With nothing to see, our imagination takes over. The stickman's eyes are open, but all he sees are his thoughts projected like movies on the ceiling. The animation shows doodle memories and fake scenarios floating above him. In the dark, the brain fills the void with stories, sometimes real, sometimes imagined. This is why night can feel so intense and emotional. During the day, distractions keep our minds busy. Work, friends, screens, all these things help us avoid deep thoughts. But at night, when everything stops, the brain finally has time to process what's left unresolved. The stickman's phone is off, the room is quiet, and there's nothing to do but think. This lack of distraction is both a blessing and a curse. It helps us reflect, but also makes us overthink. Dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, drops at night. Without the excitement of the day, our mood can dip, making us more sensitive to negative thoughts. The animation shows a brain icon with a fading glow, symbolizing low dopamine. The stickman feels a little empty and worries seem heavier. This chemical shift is a big reason why overthinking feels worse at night. Emotions we ignore during the day come back at night. The stickman remembers a fight, a mistake, or a missed opportunity. These memories float around him like glowing orbs, impossible to ignore. The animation shows these orbs circling the stickman, growing brighter as he tries to sleep. Unresolved emotions demand attention, making the mind restless and the heart heavy. Animation shifts to an endless staircase with the stickman climbing but never reaching the top. Each step represents a new thought, a new worry. No matter how far he goes, there's always another step. This visual metaphor shows how overthinking can feel like an endless journey with no destination. The brain keeps searching for answers, but the stairs never end. Stickman is now surrounded by looping thought bubbles. Each bubble contains the same worry repeating over and over. The animation zooms in and out, showing how these thoughts trap him in a cycle. This is the nature of overthinking. One thought leads to another, and soon you're back where you started. The brain can't let go, and the night feels even longer. Clocks appear all around the stickman, their hands spinning fast. Time seems to move quickly and slowly at the same time. The stickman watches as the night drags on, unable to sleep. The racing clocks symbolize anxiety about the future and the pressure to rest. The more he worries, the faster the clocks spin, making sleep feel impossible. The stickman sees flashes of old memories, moments he wishes he could change. The animation shows doodle-style scenes of past mistakes, replaying in his mind. Regret is a powerful emotion, and at night it becomes even stronger. The stickman tries to look away, but the memories keep coming back, making it hard to find peace. Now the stickman imagines scenarios that haven't happened yet, worries about tomorrow, next week, or even years ahead. The animation shows thought clouds filled with question marks and uncertain paths. This future anxiety is common at night when the mind tries to prepare for every possibility. The stickman feels overwhelmed, lost in a sea of what-ifs. Stickman's brain starts creating fake scenarios, arguments that never happened, disasters that never came. The animation shows these as doodle-style movies playing in his mind. These fake stories can feel real, triggering real emotions. The brain can't always tell the difference between reality and imagination, especially at night. Animation uses smooth zoom-ins and subtle camera movements to highlight the stickman's emotions. His face changes from calm to worried to sad, reflecting the roller coaster inside his mind. Emotional background music adds depth, making the viewer feel every moment. This cinematic style makes the story relatable and engaging, just like viral psychology reels. At night, the world is quiet, but our minds are loud. The stickman sits up, surrounded by glowing thought clouds. The animation shows the contrast between the silent room and the noisy mind. This is why night can feel overwhelming. There's nothing to distract us from our own thoughts. The brain's voice becomes the loudest thing in the room. During the day, routines keep us grounded. The stickman is shown going through daily activities, work, meals, conversations. These routines give structure and keep the mind occupied. But at night, when the routine ends, the brain is free to wander. This sudden freedom can lead to overthinking as the mind tries to fill the empty space. Imagination is strongest at night. The stickman's thoughts turn into doodle animations, flying memories, floating dreams, and wild scenarios. The animation shows how the brain creates entire worlds in the dark. This power can be beautiful or overwhelming depending on what we focus on. Night makes us emotionally vulnerable. The stickman feels every emotion more deeply: joy, sadness, regret, hope. The animation shows his heart glowing and fatting with each feeling. Without the distractions of the day, emotions become clearer and more intense. This vulnerability is a big reason why overthinking happens at night. The brain loves to solve problems, especially when there's nothing else to do. The stickman is shown with gears turning above his head, trying to find solutions to every worry. This problem-solving mode can be helpful, but at night, it often leads to endless thinking without real answers. Stress builds up during the day and explodes at night. The stickman's stress is shown as a heavy cloud pressing down on him. The animation uses soft glow effects to highlight the weight of stress. At night, with nothing to distract us, stress becomes impossible to ignore, fueling the cycle of overthinking. For bed, many people scroll through social media. The stickman is shown holding a phone, eyes wide as he sees posts about success, happiness, and drama. These images can trigger comparison, jealousy, or regret, making overthinking worse. The animation shows thought clouds growing bigger after each scroll. Artificial light from screens can confuse the brain. The stickman's room glows with blue light from his phone, making it harder to relax. This light tricks the brain into staying alert, making overthinking more likely. The animation shows the stickman's eyes wide open, unable to sleep. Memories float around the stickman like gentle bubbles. Some are happy, some are sad. The animation uses soft glow effects to make these memories feel alive. At night, the brain replays these moments, searching for meaning or closure. This can be comforting or painful depending on the memory. When we're not focused on tasks, the brain's default mode network activates. This network is responsible for daydreaming, self-reflection, and yes, overthinking. The animation shows a glowing brain with lines connecting different thought clouds. At night, this network is most active, making the mind wander freely. The stickman suddenly remembers things he forgot during the day: a kind word, a mistake, a funny moment. The animation shows these memories lighting up around him. At night, the brain organizes and stores memories, making them feel more vivid. This is why old memories often return when we're trying to sleep. FOMO, or the fear of missing out, can strike at night. The stickman imagines everyone else having fun while he lies awake. The animation shows thought clouds filled with parties, friends, and adventures. This fear can make us question our choices and replay decisions, fueling more overthinking. At night, the brain searches for meaning in everything. The stickman is shown connecting dots between memories, trying to make sense of his life. This search can lead to deep insights or endless confusion. The animation uses glowing lines to show connections forming and breaking. Guilt is another emotion that grows at night. The stickman remembers promises he broke or things he left undone. The animation shows heavy thought clouds pressing down on him. Guilt makes it hard to relax, keeping the mind busy with should have and could have thoughts. Overthinking often comes from a desire to control the future. The stickman tries to organize his thoughts, stacking them like blocks, but the blocks keep falling, showing that some things are beyond control. The animation highlights the frustration of trying to predict or fix everything. Reflection can be powerful at night. The stickman sits quietly, looking at his thoughts with curiosity instead of fear. The animation shows thought clouds turning from dark to light as he accepts them. This shift from worry to acceptance can help the mind find peace. Hope can also grow at night. The stickman imagines positive outcomes, dreams, and possibilities. The animation shows glowing stars and rising thought clouds. Even in the darkest moments, hope can shine through, giving the mind something to hold on to. Overthinking is a cycle. One thought leads to another, and soon the mind is spinning. The stickman is shown walking in circles, surrounded by looping thought clouds. The animation uses smooth camera movement to create a dizzying effect, capturing the endless nature of overthinking. The stickman tries to sleep, but his mind won't let him. The animation shows him tossing and turning, surrounded by glowing clocks and thought clouds. Sleep feels far away, just out of reach. This struggle is familiar to anyone who has ever lain awake, lost in thought. Expectations from ourselves and others can weigh heavily at night. The stickman is shown carrying a heavy bag labeled expectations. The animation uses soft glow to highlight the burden. These expectations can fuel overthinking, making it hard to rest. Self-doubt grows in the dark. The stickman questions his choices, abilities, and worth. The animation shows thought clouds filled with question marks and fading confidence. Self-doubt can make overthinking worse, trapping the mind in negative loops. Past traumas can resurface at night. The stickman remembers painful moments, shown as dark clouds with sharp edges. These memories can trigger strong emotions, making sleep difficult. The animation uses subtle camera shakes to convey the intensity of these feelings. Unfinished business keeps the mind awake. The stickman sees open doors and incomplete puzzles in his thoughts. The animation shows him trying to close doors and finish puzzles, but new ones keep appearing. This need for closure fuels the cycle of overthinking. Letting go is hard, but it's the key to peace. The stickman is shown releasing thought clouds, watching them float away. The animation uses soft glow and slow motion to highlight the relief that comes with acceptance. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting, it means making space for rest. Gratitude can quiet the mind. The stickman lists things he's thankful for, and the animation shows thought clouds turning into stars. Each star brings a sense of calm, making it easier to sleep. Focusing on gratitude shifts the mind from worry to peace. Not all night thoughts are bad. The stickman dreams, imagines, and creates. The animation shows beautiful doodle scenes, flying, exploring, and smiling. Night can be a time for inspiration and self-discovery if we learn to listen without fear. Eventually, the storm of thoughts passes. The stickman lies peacefully, surrounded by soft, glowing clouds. The animation slows down and the music becomes gentle. This calm is a reminder that overthinking is temporary and peace is always possible. Everyone overthinks at night sometimes. The animation zooms out to show many stickmen in their own rooms, each surrounded by thought clouds. This universal experience connects us all, reminding us that we're not alone in our struggles. As the night ends, the stickman takes a deep breath and lets his thoughts settle. The animation shows the clouds fading, replaced by the soft glow of the morning sun. Overthinking may visit us at night, but it doesn't have to control us. With understanding and acceptance, we can find peace. Rat dimag ko nahe sach ko loud bana didi hai. The animation ends with the stickman looking out the window, the city waking up. The night's thoughts fade and a new day begins. This final line leaves a deep impact, reminding us that night reveals truths we often hide during the day.